What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just back at another video. There's your one-stop shop for anime and manga. Let's get into it. Alright, I want to start by saying thank you everyone for subscribing. If you're new here, you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so I don't post another video. Also follow me on social media. Links can be in the description. Alright, y'all, so it's that time. We're going to be doing my manga haul for the month of June. I am super excited because I picked up some decent stuff this time, and thanks to my cousin, I got to complete something that I've been trying to complete for the longest time now, and I cannot wait to share with y'all. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is this gigantic monster. This right here is the One Piece box set, Volume 4. I gotta give a huge shout out to my cousin because he's actually the only reason I even have any One Piece in my collection. So he has been getting me all of One Piece through the box sets, and we're obviously on the fourth one. That is the most up-to-date one. I do think One Piece is like the singles are currently up to like volume 110 or something like that. So this box set covers up to volume 90, and that's insane, right? I actually think about I have 90 volumes of one specific series. I cannot believe it. It's so super just jarring to even think about it because 90 volumes of a single series is insane. I don't know how the people that collect One Piece in the singles do it. Me personally, I'm only going to be collecting them via the box sets. So now that I do have all four of them, I'm just going to wait for, 5th, 6th, 7th, because who knows how many boxes are going to come out at this point. Obviously, I don't need to talk about One Piece. Everyone knows what One Piece is. It's one of the most, if not the most successful manga of all time. Probably that is between that and probably Dragon Ball, honestly. So, obviously, we have my boy Luffy and just trying to find the One Piece. And he is going on this entire pirate journey to try and find it. I highly recommend everyone to just pick up and read One Piece. Probably read it. For me, it was a little easier to read it than to watch the anime. For me, the beginning season of the anime, the animation style wasn't really that good because it was so long ago. So I do highly recommend anyone just pick up and read One Piece. Just take your time. It's over 1,000 chapters, obviously. I was crazy enough. I did it in a little over a month, but not everyone can bust out 20 chapters a day. I even read sometimes 100 chapters in a single day before for One Piece. So I know not everyone can do that, but just, read it on the Show and Jump app. I highly recommend it. One Piece is one of my favorite series, and it really is just that good. It's 1,000 chapters for a reason. So after my cousin got me the One Piece box set, I went ahead and got Soul Leveling Volume 12. Soul Leveling follows Sung Jin-woo as he survives a double dungeon and realizes he has the ability to increase his power infinitely. Honestly, this is another series that I really don't need to talk too much about. Everyone, obviously, at this point has heard of Soul Leveling because of the insane anime that's dropped for this. And the manga just gets even better. Honestly, what a lot of people don't really understand if you haven't read Soul Leveling, basically everything that we more or less watched was kind of like a prologue type of thing. It's really just him learning how to use his power. Now you're actually going to get really into the meat of the series, really find out the lore, find out why he has a system, why he was able to survive a double dungeon, who are the different monsters. If you've seen the anime, the different monsters that can actually speak, you get to know all of that stuff once Soul Leveling, the anime, does come back. I have been hearing rumors that they're trying to say it's probably going to come back in a couple years. Honestly, I think that's a little too long to wait, so I highly recommend pick up the manga. It's really, really good. I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, this is one of the series where you're not able to find it on the Webtoon app. The Webtoon app has basically almost every damn, manga you can think of. It's pretty much there. But for some reason, I never understood it. I'll probably have to look into it. Soul Leveling is one of those series that it's not there. So you can really only either get the scans or you can just do what I do and read the physicals. I say do what I do, but I've already read entire Soul Leveling online already. So I'm basically rereading it as the physical volumes come out. And I gotta say, it's an amazing series. It just keeps getting better and better. Honestly, Soul Leveling is one of my favorite just manhwas I've read in general. It is technically the first. That may be why it's my favorite, but, to each his own. After that, we have another manhwa that I'm absolutely in love with. And that's Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, Volume 7. When the insane light novel Dokaja Kim was reading becomes his reality, he has to maneuver through all the challenges to avoid all the obstacles. So this is another one of my favorites, and this is actually one of my friends. This is one of his favorites too. He actually says this is better than Solo Leveling. I don't know as of yet. We gotta see. So far, it is very good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I could put it above Solo Leveling as of yet. But obviously, I'm still very, very early. I have not read the digitals of Mr. Reader's Viewpoint. I've only ever read the physicals. I'm only reading it physically as they come out, and it really is good. It's a completely different take. I almost like to call it like a reverse isekai kind of thing, because instead of the main character basically going into like the fantasy world, whatever, his real world became that fantasy world that he was reading. And I always say this every time I talk about Omniscient Reader. It's like a little bit hard to really discuss what it's about, because everything that goes on is essentially a spoiler, aside from the reality becomes the light novel he was reading. So for Dokuja, he was reading this light novel, and he was the only person reading it because he was able to see who was reading it on the specific app. And when he finished, it became his reality. Now, because he has read everything, he has the power of the Omniscient Reader, where he can recall all of the little nuances and pages that he's read since chapter 1. And he is using that information so he can maneuver his way and eventually make it to the end of the book. Now, there's a whole bunch of different trials and tribulations, because since the real world was turned into the light novel, there's little things that are a little bit different, so he has to use his knowledge to basically outsmart the differences. So it's a little bit convoluted. I always tell everyone, definitely just probably read the first volume. If you get hooked off of the first volume, you're most likely going to love Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. And like I was talking about with Solo Leveling, this actually is on the Webtoon app, so you can read it all on the Webtoon app if you prefer. I do think Omniscient Reader is still ongoing at that point, so I messed up a little bit. I started collecting this, and I don't know when this is going to end. So I'm going to probably have maybe 50 volumes of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, but I like it, so I'm down with that. The next thing I picked up was the Initial D Omnibus Volume 6. Follow the story of Takumi, a tofu delivery driver who becomes a street racing legend when he knew nothing about cars initially. So here's the omnibus volume of Initial D, and I have to say I absolutely love it. This is becoming an amazing series that I'm absolutely loving to collect, because first of all, I specifically love the colors of each specific volume. They're all like a very nice, crazy, like pastel colors. It really does look nice. But then the story itself, I see why a few years ago like this series was so sought after, because the series is really just a build up of everything. It hooks you in instantly. And for someone like me who really doesn't know anything about cars or street racing, this series just hooked in someone like me that's a beginner, and it really just, you learn with the character, because the main character Takumi, he has absolutely no idea what street racing really is. He just basically knew cars have 4 wheels and engine, take you from point A to point B, and that's essentially all he really knew about cars. He had friends that were in the street racing world, but he didn't really enter it until people realized that he was actually a street racing legend, because his father taught him how to drive as a tofu delivery driver, and he had to do all these crazy turns. So because of that, Takumi is actually an insane street racer, and little by little you actually see how he slowly grows to actually love street racing and how he wants to get better. He wants to be the best in the world, and it's an insane, just amazing kind of coming of age story a little bit. It has those elements in it, but the action, the street races are amazing. I honestly love this series so much. I highly recommend anyone just pick up Initial D. You're probably gonna like it, even if you're someone like me who knows absolutely nothing about cars. This is one of those series that it can definitely hook you, and it can definitely appeal to a wide range of audience. So last thing I picked up was Zom 100 Buckets of the Dead, Volume 17. Zom 100 follows Akira and his group of friends after a zombie apocalypse breaks out. He's excited he doesn't have to work anymore, so now he creates a bucket list of things he wants to do before he turns into a zombie. Zom 100 is by far my favorite physical ongoing series right now, and I absolutely just love this thing. Here so far we're on volume 17, and I gotta say, at this point I have no idea when this series is gonna end. I was assuming it might end around like volume 20, volume 21, around there. At this point I really have no idea. So in this particular volume, what I really enjoyed was the fact that we are starting to learn kind of what caused the zombie apocalypse. So if you don't know, in this, zombie apocalypse just happened one day out of nowhere, so no one really knows what exactly happened. This one is starting to lay the breadcrumbs so you can find out, wait, something's not right. There's it looks like it may not just be a random coincidence where zombies just like sprouted everywhere and just started killing everyone. So I'm absolutely excited because Zombie 100 is just a nice, funny series. It really does not take itself seriously at all. It's a nice, different take of like the zombie apocalypse genre that's not too serious, but at the same time, it's not like 100% comedy either, like just slapstick comedy. So I think that's what I really like about it. Now, don't get me wrong, it is insanely wacky. The fact that Akira and his crew are still alive, they should not be alive. The way they just barrel through hordes of zombies, there's definitely, like kind of like Looney Tunes actions at sometimes, and it's just an insane ride. I absolutely do love Zombie 100. This is one of the series that you can read. I believe it's on the Viz Manga app. I believe it's there. If it's not on the Viz Manga app specifically, because I think this one is technically rated mature or teens, you have to read it on like the Viz Manga's website, where that's where like it's locked behind your age if you have to read it there. But definitely, I highly recommend reading the Zombie 100 on either. I think it's either online on the website or the Viz Manga app, one of those two. But I highly recommend just checking this out. It's a nice, amazing read. If you want a series that you can just really just turn your brain off and not think too much, and also just like have fun with it, definitely Zombie 100 is gonna be for you. The anime was a little bit of a miss for me. I'll be honest. I didn't really like the anime too much. I highly recommend the manga though. It's an amazing read. So that was everything I picked up in the month of June. I gotta say I'm super excited for some of these pickups because I got to pick up some Soul Leveling. I'm always excited for that. I got to pick up Zombie 100, and of course, shout out to my cousin again. He's the one that really got me the final One Piece box set. So I cannot wait. I would not have One Piece if it wasn't for him. So this was a nice month that I really enjoyed picking up, and I love showing it to y'all. Definitely let me know down in the comments what are some series that you're currently collecting, or what are your favorite series that you prefer in your collection. I love to know that type of stuff. If you're new here and you like my content, like I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so no post no video. Follow me on social media. Links will be in the description. This is your boy Just. I'm off this.